Okay, I'm realizing that I guess I have to do a series of videos to demonstrate everything that I'm doing. But I think the first one and the most important one is to demonstrate media queries, how they work, how easy they are to set up, and how powerful they can be. Um, with little bit of code changing with quicker sites, media queries can be something really powerful. All right, so let me show you an example. So I've got one of my themes, templates, whatever you want to call it, called Marie, and in the header I have a custom position. Um, in WordPress, this will translate into a widget area. The way you create them, it's very simple. You go to the header, controls, position, and the only things, unfortunately, that you can customize those positions is by changing the name and the width. I wish we could do more, like the orientation. You want to float it to the left, to the right, colors, font, and so on and so forth. But you can't. So everything has to be done manually through CSS. All right. So let me show you the end result. So if I go to the widgets areas, I'm going to have a widget area called VTE1. Okay, that's my custom one. And inside this widget area, you can slide in anything you want, uh, from calendars to search box to tags to forms to mini cards and so on and so forth. And right now I have a WooCommerce mini card. So if you're gonna see this in action, there it is. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, the first thing that I wanted to do was, and I already did this, is to control the how it looks. So let me go. This has nothing to do with media queries yet. I'm just showing you a preview of what Artisteer does. So I've got these are my customization for the mini cards. Let me cut them out, update the screen, and let's see how it looks straight out of the box. Here's how it looks. It's purple in color. It's got an underscore. You can, because of the black background, you can barely see it. Okay. So after I made my simple CSS settings, and I'll explain them really quickly, you end up something like this. All right. So let me explain. So the first part has to do with the font size. I made it 20, a little bit bigger. I took off the text decoration, that's the underline of the link, and I made the color to grayish white, silvery color. Okay. Now the second part of it, it has to do with the hover. When I hover, I'm making the color brighter, so I'm making it white, and I'm also adding a shadow to it. This particular shadow and background, the color, the hover color, I also added it to the site name. Okay, so this is what I have so far. All right, so let's customize it more, and this is where the media queries is gonna all of a sudden come in handy. So I don't want the mini cart to be on the left. I want it to be floating to the right. I want to bring it all the way to the right. So let's do that really quickly. I'm gonna go over here and bring this command. trying to copy and paste. Alright, so basically what I'm saying that when it comes to the mini card, and this is the same selector as this, so it's a base thing. So I could have added this two lines down here. It would have done the same thing, but I want to keep it separately because we're gonna get rid of this altogether in a second, or add things to it. So I'm basically saying displayed in a block and float it to the right. So let me update this, and it works. Okay, so it's floating to the right. The problem now is this looks beautiful on a large screen, on a desktop view, but in the responsive views it doesn't work for me. Okay, by default Artisteer gets um, all the positions, your titles and everything else, the search box, and centers them in the responsive views. Once I alter that behavior, it's always going to be floating to the right. I need it in the responsive views to be centered also. So, and let me prove my point. If I get rid of this last part and see what Artisteer out of the box operates, it's going to be on the left right now, and then it's centered. Okay, so I need to find a way of floating this uh, mini card to the right only in the desktop view, but in the responsive views, whether it's a tablet or phone or any other smaller screen, I want it to be centered. I want it to be ignored. That particular uh, command to float it to the right. So instead of simply saying in general for every screen to float it to the right, we're gonna do a simple media query. And this is how it works. So we have a add media, and I've got a minimum width of 1200 pixels. So if the screen is 1200 pixels or larger, and this is where you can put many commands inside. So this bracket starts from here and ends here, and inside I can put as many commands as I want, and it's only going to affect filter out. It's going to only affect to those screens that are larger than 1200 pixels. So inside it now, I'm saying what I had before, now displayed as a block, and then float it to the right. So let me save this. If the screen is smaller than 1200 pixels, whatever I put in here between this bracket and this bracket, it's going to be ignored. This is only for large screens. Once you understand this, you're gonna be in business. So so this is on a this screen. Actually the width is 1920 pixels. It's large. Once I make it smaller, it's going to center it. It's going to ignore it. Okay, there it is. So now let's do some extra testing. Um, so let me go inside and add some more things. So let me bring this, trying to copy a chunk of code for desktops and tablet screens. So basically now I'm saying if the minimum width is 768 up to 1190, I've got that selected for the mini card again, display none. So in this case, for a screen size between 768 and 2000, which is pretty much a tablet, don't display the mini card. So let me refresh the screen. Everything looks good. Once I bring it to a certain dimension, the mini card is not being displayed. Okay, let me do some more experimentation here. Let me just do tablets. So let me add this code. So now I'm gonna do a media query between 481 and 767. I want you to display it, but I want the color to be green and the font size 36. Remember, the font size initially was 20, so I'm gonna make it green and larger. So let me save this. Let me refresh the screen. And let's see it in action. There it is. It's gonna disappear. That's large, and that's the original. And just for further testing, just to prove my point, let's go put in a final code media query for phones. Alright, so let me put it down here. So for phones, it's basically maximum width 480. So 499 pixels and smaller. I want it to, that's a selector, that's a mini card again. I want the color to be red, and because the size has not changed, the size is going to be the original, which is 20 pixels. So now to see the whole thing in action, let me refresh the screen, and this is how it goes. So let's start from the all the way out. That's a desktop view. Float it to the right. We're in the desktop and tablet view, sort of, and the mini card is not going to be shown. It's gone. Now we're in full tablet mode, and then smaller screen tablet mode, and we have larger mini card with green color. And then once I get to the phone screen, we have red and back to 20 pixels. And that's how you do media queries. Okay? Now, what's the advantage of making media queries? Very simple. On widgets, Artisteer does this. Elegant Themes doesn't do this. In fact, I haven't seen that many premium themes that don't do it. I don't understand why. So basically, this is what I'm doing. So in the widgets, let me go to this particular widget. Let's say the categories. I can go to theme display options. Okay. My themes also added the disable bullets. This is sometimes very helpful if you have external plugins like tablet, like accordions or tabs and stuff like that, where they use lists, unordered lists, so the bullets show up and you need to manually get rid of them. All you have to do is, if that's happening, is select this, and the bullets are going to be disabled with CSS. So this is what I'm talking about. It's going to this particular widget, the categories. It's going to be displayed in the desktop and tablets, not on phones. And I've done this the same thing for the products as well. So if you go to theme options, on the phone it's not going to be displayed. When it comes to the footer widget, it's going to be displayed only in the desktop, so no tablet, no phone. Okay, so let's see that in action. Alright, so let me go to a page that okay, so we have this is going to be displayed only for desktops and tablets, and these three widgets are going to be displayed only in the desktops. Okay, once I make my screen smaller, let's bring it to tablet screen. Okay, they're displayed. Okay, those are, and at the bottom, the footer widgets, they're not displayed in the tablet mode. Now, if I bring it down to the phone, the sidebar widgets are not displayed either. Another filtering that I'm doing is, if I go to my customizer screen, and if I go to responsive design, I'm putting the left sidebar under content. Otherwise, the default behavior would have been the left sidebar. If you had one, is going to display it above it, and if you have many of them, every single time that a person has to go to a new page, it has to scroll down to see, and it's going to be seeing the same widget, the sidebar over and over again, which is not very helpful. By putting it at the bottom, having the option of putting it at the bottom, um, it's a uh, it's a good solution. And now I'm bringing back the left sidebar since uh, because of this restriction before, nobody was creating uh, templates anymore with the left sidebar. Okay, let me go back to media queries. You can do media queries very easily on not just widgets or your customized items, but on images. So in this case, this image or any image that I put, um, let's see what we have here. So I've got 3 classes, custom classes created, and one of them is tablet no show, desktop no show, and phone no show. In this case, I'm using tablet no show. Okay, so as long as you put the class in there, I also have um, the uh, uh, the rounded corners classes that I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to waste your time right now. So as long as I put the tablet no show class into an image or any div statement to that matter, um, that's what's going to happen. So in this case, desktop is going to show, tablet is not going to show. If I bring it down to phone, there's a picture again. So now I can control individual images. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you that has nothing to do with QuickerSat, but can be implemented maybe in QuickerSat with some code changes, is how to automate the process of entering the text, the images, or the controlling of the media queries in an image. So I'm going to insert an image over here. I'm going to go to media. Let me input this picture again. So the first thing that you're going to see is this buttons over here, which I added to my themes. You're not going to see them in any other theme. You're not going to see them in Artisteer, Elegant Themes, or anything that you buy. This is pretty unique. So I'm going to say that I want this picture only to be displayed for phones. Okay. Another thing that I'm doing is make sure that this picture is not linked anywhere. And let me put the full size of the picture. Let me insert this. Alright, so through PHP, I made it so that automatically it's gonna put the class art lightbox for me. So there's a tablet no show, there's a desktop no show. These are coming from the checkboxes, okay, or that weren't selected actually. And on top of that, it's putting the art lightbox. All right, uh, and let me change the width to 200 pixels. Get rid of the height. All right, so let's see it in action. Update. There it is. All right. So for a second, I was saying what happened to the picture. Well, remember, we're not that picture is only going to show up in the desktop view. So sorry, in the phone view. So there it is. There's a phone view. There's your art light box. Once I go to a tablet, the picture is gone. Desktop, the picture is gone. And in this case again, this picture is going to be shown desktop and phone view. So what's the importance of media queries? If you have on a page 20 pages, on a desktop or tablet it might look okay. It's, you don't have to scroll that much because you can put them next to each other. But if you're on a small screen and you have 20, 30 pictures, that person is going to scroll down and the pictures are similar to each other. You can probably get rid of some of them. So instead of having 20 pictures for the phone view, you can display 5. And if they want to see all of them, they can go on a computer and do it. So you're not saving um, bandwidth if you think that you're spinning up your website because you're showing fewer images. That is not the case. Whether you're displaying them or not, this is a CSS trick. All the images are going to be loaded through HTML anyways. So this is only to do with showing it or not, nothing to do with loading. The last thing I'm going to talk about has nothing to do with the media queries, but it has to do with loading up your screen faster. It has to do with a jQuery, a JavaScript library called lazy load or lazy loading. So basically what it does is once you it's very simple to set it up. All you have to do is add the JavaScript, activate the JavaScript through your header or footer or anywhere on your website or page. So basically this is what happens. When a page gets displayed in your browser, everything has to get loaded first. So you got the text, the images, and everything else. If you have too many pages or your server is too slow, it's going to add an extra second or two before the page shows up. Now a pagey load, a lazy load, what it does is it loads out all the images for, all the text first, everything else first. And when it comes to images, it only loads them when they come in view. Let me give you an example and pay attention. All the images will show up when they come in view. So, and I put an extra second of delay to make it more visible, and I think it looks better, it looks more modern. So as I go down, the image is gonna come in play. Okay, and this is called lazy load. Now, other companies, they've taken the lazy load to different levels. For example, Elegant Themes with their latest theme, Divi. You're gonna see they put an extra animation on it. So as I'm gonna go down, see how those images gonna get loaded. There it is. It's got an extra animation. It's pretty cool. I mean, besides loading your pages faster, you have an extra animation now happening. So that's pretty cool, and that's called lazy load. To implement lazy load in QuickerSite, it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes, really. It can be done through JS templates if Peter wants to, and it's very simple. Google it, find the JavaScript library, and activate it. That's all for today. Tomorrow I'll post some more things that can be used in QuickerSite as well.